Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Captain Matt here with 15 minutes with the captains. We're going over correction versus disrespect. All right. So a lot of times brothers get corrected in this truth, and a lot of them take it as disrespect. So we're going to go through the scriptures to show you what correction is versus what disrespect is. We got to learn to tell the difference because a lot of brothers get offended. A lot of sisters get offended in this truth when it comes to getting corrected. And we have to understand that it's not to disrespect you, it's to put you back in order. All right. For those of us who weren't raised with a lot of correction, we tend to take it as disrespect. But we're going to get into it today. Let me get Sirach chapter 20, verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 20, verse 1. There is a reproof that is not comely.
So there is a reproof that is not comely. It doesn't look nice, but it's a reproof. Reproof doesn't always look good. So sometimes you have to look at that uncomely reproof as something to say, damn, well, there really must be something inside of me if they're that passionate about correcting me about it. Read on.
Again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise.
So some men holdeth his tongue, and he is found wise. A lot of times, if you just don't speak, yes, sir, I'll fix it. That goes a long way. We laugh about it all the time among ourselves. Yes, sir, I'll fix it. Just do it. Read on.
Verse 2. It is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly.
It's a lot better for you to correct someone or to get corrected than for you to be angry with that person secretly. Why? Because secret hatred starts to develop. You're angry with that person. You want to correct them, but you don't. So that secret hatred starts to develop. You have to learn to reprove people. Go ahead.
And he that confesseth his fault shall be preserved from hurt.
You that confess your fault shall be preserved from, yes, sir, I'll fix it. Yes, I'll fix it. Damn, I didn't see that on myself, but now I see it. I'm going to fix it. That is how you're going to be preserved from hurt. Read on.
How good is it when thou art reproved to show repentance, for so shalt thou escape willful sin.
It's good to be reproved because then you'll escape willful sin. Willful sin is those sins that you sit there and you meditate on doing. And then somebody walks up on you and tell you about yourself, and you so cut that you like, man, why you say it like that? A lot of times I hear the phrase, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Paul says something very heavy. Paul says something very heavy. Go to 2 Corinthians real quick. Chapter 11, verse 6.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
So Paul may have been rude in speech. There was a reproof that wasn't comely coming from Paul, but he wasn't rude in knowledge. You may have gotten offended by what he said, but he wasn't disrespectful to you. He just made you correct yourself vehemently. Look that word up. Go back to, let's jump over to Sirach chapter 19, verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 19, verse 13. Admonish a friend. It may be he had not done it. And if he have done it, that he do it no more.
That's what goes into that correction. You admonish them. An admonishment is a warning or a correction. It may be that they didn't do it. So you correct the person, hey, bro, make sure you're not doing it. Oh, no, I ain't do that. All right, I'm just checking. You got to be able to have those checks and balances among yourselves. Read on.
Admonish thy friend. It may be he had not said it. And if he have, that he speak it not again.
That's what goes into that correction as well. Sometimes things may hit your ear and you want to jump on and correct somebody, but they didn't even do it or they didn't even say it. And somebody else was offended, took it as disrespect, brought it to you. You run with one side of the story, and now guess what? You're going off of what that person said, and it wasn't even like that. So that's why you warn that person. It may be they didn't say it. Read.
Admonish a friend, for many times It is a slander.
Because sometimes people do slander. Read.
And believe not every tale.
Don't believe everything that everybody tells you. All right? Read on.
There is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart.
Why? Because there's sometimes people may be in the heat of the moment, they say something, or they don't mean what they say. It didn't come out the way that they meant it. Some people slip in their speech. That's why Christ told us in Matthew 5 to forgive. That's what turn the other cheek goes into. Stop being so quick to condemn and quick to do this and do that. Learn how to wink at ignorance sometimes. Read.
And who is he that had not offended with his tongue?
If the man that didn't offend with his tongue, he ain't offend nobody with his tongue, that man is perfect. It says that in James. All right? Jump over to Titus 1 and 13.
Titus chapter 1, verse 13. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith.
So some people have to be rebuked sharply. Sometimes it has to happen for you to be sound in the faith. That's the correction part. Now, let's switch gears right quick and go to the disrespect part. All right? So showing you that there's a difference between correcting someone and disrespecting them. Showing also a difference between being corrected and being disrespected. All right? Go to Sirach chapter 28.
Start at verse 1.
Verse 9.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 28, verse 9. A sinful man disquieted friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace.
So a sinful man disquieteth friends. Those are those people that like to argue. Like Ply said, you just want argue. Everybody like to argue. You want to argue about this. You want to argue about that. There's a lot of people who turn a healthy conversation into a debate and a disrespectful argument because they don't want to be one-upped in their feelings. They want to feel like they have some sort of superiority in the conversation. That's where disrespect comes in, because in that is pride. Pride is in the midst of that. Pride is in the midst of disrespect. I'm going to show you that. Jump over. We're going to come back to Sirach 28. Jump over to Sirach chapter 10 and verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin.
Pride is the beginning of sin.
And he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
When you pour out abomination, that means your speech, your actions, all of that, you're going to pour out abomination. Nothing is going to be clean coming out of your mouth because pride is in the midst. That goes to them that are disquieting friends and causing debate among them that be at peace. Go back to Sirach 28.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 28, verse 9. A sinful man disquieted friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace.
Read.
As the matter of the fire is, so it burneth. And as a man's strength is, so is his wrath.
So as a matter of the fire is, so it burneth. So if a fire is in gasoline, it burns brighter. If a fire is in kerosene, it burns brighter. If it's in lighter fluid, it burns brighter. If it's on leaves, it burns a certain way. If it's in grass, it burns a certain way. So a lot of people add gasoline to the fire. They don't add water, they add gasoline, which turns into disrespect. Read on.
And according to his riches, his anger riseth.
Because a lot of people feel like, okay, well, I got more money. That pride enters in. Next thing you know, you have people with money that's talking about killing other people because they have money. They have the means to do it. They have people with money that will do God knows what, all manner of wickedness just to disrespect somebody because they have a lot of money, so they're going to have a lot of anger, which is going to in turn into disrespect. Go ahead.
And the stronger they are which contend, the more they will be inflamed.
And the more they go back and forth, the more they're going to be inflamed. That inflammation, them being inflamed, is disrespect, and it's going to go past that. Read.
In hasty contention, kindleth a fire.
A hasty contention, disrespect will kindle a fire. Go ahead.
And in hasty fighting, sheddeth blood.
Because disrespect leads to fighting. Fighting leads to murder, especially nowadays. 2024, most times our people ain't fighting. They're not fighting how they used to do in the 90s and the early 2000s. They're now killing one another in order to resolve conflict. Read.
If thou blows a spark, it shall burn.
So we have to understand how to deal with that disrespect, how to stop it. If you blow the spark, if you keep it going, it's going to burn. Read.
If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched.
If you spit on it, it's going to be quenched, meaning you're going to be able to put that fire out. Read.
And both these come out of thy mouth.
You can either correct somebody or you can disrespect somebody. Go to Sirach chapter 41, verse 17.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 17. Be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before a prince and a mighty man.
So these things are the list from 17 on down is talking about things to be ashamed of. Now, let me get verse 22.
Verse 22. Or to be over busy with his maid and come not near her bed, or of upbraiding speeches before friends.
Upbraiding speeches. Upbraid means to correct somebody sharply, to where you're disrespecting them. And there's another scripture that talks about upbraiding. We're going to get in a second. Read it again.
Or to be over busy with his maid and come not near her bed, or of upbraiding speeches before friends.
You disrespecting your own friends. Go ahead.
And after thou hast given, upbraid not.
So they got people that will give you something and will throw it right back in your face. That's disrespectful. Like if you gave it, consider it that I'm either going to give it back to you or I needed it for you to help me. Don't go throwing in my face everything that you did. They have a lot of people that fear doing favors for people because of that reason. You could lose a lot of friends that way. Go to Sirach 22, verse 22.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 22, verse 22. If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be a reconciliation.
So there may be a reconciliation if you opened your mouth against your friend. Remember, we said admonish your friend. It may be that he had not said it. Admonish your friend. It may be that he had not done it. You may have came to him what may have looked like an accusation. But how you did it, you can either win that friend over or it can turn into some disrespect. And we're going to see one of the things you open up your mouth for, what happens. Go ahead.
For there may be a reconciliation except for upbraiding.
Except for upbraiding, disrespecting. Disrespecting your friends. They got some people that'll never be your friend no more. That'll never mess with you no more. They will keep their distance from you because you disrespectful. Read.
Or pride.
Or pride. Remember, pride is the beginning of sin. He that hath pride pours out of abominations. You pour out abomination, all manner of uncleanness is coming at you, out of you, because you're full of disrespect and contention and upbraiding. Read.
Or disclosing of secrets.
Disclosing of secrets, another form of disrespect. They trusted you with something, and yet you go telling all of their business to somebody else. Read.
Or a treacherous wound.
A treacherous wound could be a lot of different things. You told their secrets. You mess with their woman or sisters. You mess with their man. A lot of things, people take it, and those things are disrespectful. Not correction. Correction is not disrespectful. But these situations in the scriptures, those are disrespect. Read on.
For these things every friend will depart.
Every friend will depart for those things. People are not just going to allow you to disrespect them. All right? So this has been 15 Minutes with the Captains. I'm Captain Matthew out of New Orleans. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.
What is a nation? Someone refused to say nation is men leading by example.